know, you should be able to describe how salty ocean water is turned into fresh water, explain the difference between physical and economic water scarcity, we have discussed that yesterday, and then say that farming is the main user of the fresh water, and then next industry, then domestic use last. So you should be able to define all these terms: fresh water, groundwater, physical water scarcity, economic water scarcity, overuse infrastructure, aggregate, and then water cycle. I think maybe you already know many of them. Maybe you might not know infrastructure, probably, but I'm sure some of you already know it. Okay? So, if you compare Earth with other planets, Earth has a lot of water, but compared to the ground, as you saw earlier, the amount of water is very little. Okay, but as a planet, Earth has a lot of water, but most of it is salty, so we can't drink it. If we drink it, it can kill us. We have talked about it yesterday, how it can dehydrate us, and then it could also be poisonous to our body. Okay, and then but ocean water can change to fresh water through the water cycle. If you have seen some survivors on a boat, what they do is they try to put the ocean water on a bottle, so that they put a pipe, so whenever it heats it up, the evaporated water can go through the tube, and then they drip it on a cup to drink it. That way the salt is separated from the water. Okay, what we can do is, I'm sure you have done this experiment maybe, like put some salt in a pot, and then water, and then you just take it to boil it, and then at the end, if there's too much salt, the salt stays as a residue there, right? And then the water that evaporated can be collected through a tube. If you make it pass through a tube, as the temperature reduces, right? When the temperature reduces, it condenses. The water can go down as a drip, like right. Okay, which is the same scenario here as well. Okay, so the ocean water can turn to fresh water through the water cycle. The water cycle, you already know. Water evaporates, right? And then what happens next? And then condenses. Yes, it rises up, and then condenses, comes as rain again, right? So less than 1% of Earth's total water is fresh water. You can see how small it is. Okay, and then most of it is below ground. Only 0.01 of Earth's total water is fresh, which is rivers, lakes, and swamps. Okay, the ones that are out of the 1%, only, and then most of it is below ground. Only 0.01 of the Earth's total ground. This one is 0.01 is the Earth's, out of the Earth's total, not from the 1%. Okay, so the 1% is the fresh water, but out of all the water that's found on the surface and still fresh is 0.01. That means the ones that we can look at, the rivers, lakes, swamps. Okay. Okay. Yesterday we have talked about like how water is distributed unevenly throughout the world, right? And because of that, some get abundant water, but some they experience a shortage. And we discussed two kinds of shortage or scarcity of water, right? Physical and economic. Who can explain physical water scarcity out of the three of you? I want another hand. Physical water scarcity. So, for the physical water scarcity, like the water isn't there, okay? People need water, but it is not there, okay? But for the economic, the water is there, available, but the people or the country can't afford the infrastructure to bring the water to themselves. Sometimes they have to go far to collect the water, okay? So that one, you call it economic water scarcity. And then if it is physical water scarcity, there isn't enough amount of water for the people to use. And then, so of all fresh water used every year, farming uses The next one is industry. It uses 90%. And then domestic one will be how much? The percentage of domestic. How much will it be? Sunlight. How much percentage is for the domestic? 11, yes. So here this one is very important. Okay. So we have been learning that water is renewable resource, right? But in practice, in some areas, water can be non-renewable. If you are asked how people use the water so much that it exceeds the time it exists, I mean, it uses the water much faster than the water cycle can replace the water. Okay? So the water cycle always replaces the water, right? It evaporates it and brings it back to the ground. But sometimes our consumption could be very huge and then could deplete the water before it can replace. In those specific areas, in practice, we can say water is non-renewable. But in reality, the earth doesn't lose the water, right? It evaporates, comes back, but maybe it rains somewhere else because the wind might take it, or maybe the area is turned into desert because of desertification, okay? But that doesn't mean that the water, the earth, also the water is lost from earth. But some areas it lose that amount of water that they used to receive. So in theory, if you are asked, water is renewable, but you can explain further by saying it could be not renewable because in some areas the water cannot be replaced immediately, or might even not be replaced at all because of the water consumption there, or desertification can also be mentioned there. Okay? Any question? Any question? Good? All of you? Nothing. That's, you don't have any question? That's it.